All right, let's talk about something that affects millions of people, but often goes unsaid. Overactive bladder, or OAB for short. We're going to break down what it is, what's actually happening in your body, and, the really important part, what you can actually do about it. So let's dive right in. Ah, man, does this feel a little too familiar? That moment you're standing right in front of the bathroom, doing that little dance while you're fumbling to get your pants down? Yeah, that sudden, overwhelming urge. It's kind of funny, but it's also incredibly stressful. And honestly, this feeling of losing control, that is the very heart of OAB. Okay, so let's get a bit more specific now. We're going to talk about the urgency of OAB and really define what this common and, let's face it, disruptive condition is all about. So here's the official take. OAB is a syndrome. But the key phrase here, the one I really want you to focus on, is difficulty suppressing the urge. That's the whole ballgame. This isn't about having a weak bladder. Nope. It's actually a communication problem between your brain and your bladder. And that's what creates that intense, gotta go right now feeling. And look, if this is something you're dealing with, I want you to know you are so not alone. Seriously, just look at this number. About 40% of adults around the age of 70 are dealing with this. 40%. That's huge. This is a widespread medical condition, not something to be embarrassed about. Okay, so to really get what's going wrong in OAB, we first have to understand how a bladder is supposed to work. Let's call this section your bladder's autopilot. It's a system we all completely take for granted, but the science behind it is actually pretty cool. Think about it this way. Nobody has to teach a baby or a puppy how to pee, right? We are all born with a built-in reflex. From day one, our bodies are wired so that when the bladder stretches, it automatically sends a signal to empty. It's a simple, perfect, automatic system. But here is the big aha moment. Bladder control is not automatic. It is a learned skill. It's kind of like we have to house train our own bladders. Around age 3, our brains develop this amazing power called cortical inhibition, and that's basically the brain's override switch. It's the power to tell that automatic reflex, hey, hold on, not right now. It's a total game changer. So what happens when that control starts to slip? With overactive bladder, that careful house training we all learned starts to break down. The brain's stop signal gets weaker, and the bladder's old automatic reflex starts trying to take over again. And this chart lays out the difference perfectly. Think of it like a power struggle. In a trained bladder, your brain is the boss. It decides when it's a good time to go. But in an overactive bladder, that cortical inhibition, it falters. The bladder muscle contracts before you've given the okay, and that leads to that powerful, sudden urgency. The reflex is basically staging a takeover. Let's walk through that moment of misfire step by step. First, your bladder only stretches a little bit, but then you get a false alarm. Faulty nerve signals are screaming at your brain that the bladder is full when it's not. This triggers an unwanted squeeze from the bladder muscle. And that last step, the dance, well, that's you consciously using your pelvic floor muscles to fight back against your own body's reflex to prevent a leak. Okay, enough about the problem. Let's talk solutions. Because this is the good news part. We are now moving into taking back control, because there are highly effective strategies out there, simple ones that can have a huge impact. And check this out. This number is really empowering. For up to half of all people with OAB, you can see significant improvement just by making changes to lifestyle factors. 50%! That often means no medication is needed at all. That is a ton of power back in your hands. So, what are these factors? Well, here are some of the usual suspects. Things like caffeine, alcohol, fizzy drinks, and even spicy foods or artificial sweeteners can really irritate the bladder. The first step isn't about cutting everything out tomorrow. It's just about awareness, becoming a detective and noticing if there's a connection for you. So here's the foundational game plan. 4 key parts. First, modify those risk factors, the irritants we just saw. Second, optimize your fluids. Third, try timed voiding. This is huge. You basically put your bladder on a schedule, say every 2 hours. The logic is simple. You can't leak from an empty bladder. And finally, pelvic floor exercises to strengthen those crucial control muscles. Together, these steps can make a massive difference. Now, for some people, lifestyle changes just aren't enough, and that is totally okay. There are more paths to relief, so let's take a look at an overview of the medical treatments available. When it comes to medication, there are typically 2 main classes of drugs. Beta-3 agonists basically help the bladder muscle relax so it can hold more. Then you have anticholinergics, which block the nerve signals that cause the squeeze. Now, the key thing to know here is that some studies have shown an association between long-term use of anticholinergics in older adults and dementia risk. It's not proven cause and effect, but it is why many doctors now prefer to start with beta-3 agonists. And for cases that are more resistant, there are even more advanced therapies. Things like Botox injections, yep, Botox, can be put directly into the bladder muscle to relax it, giving relief for about 6 months. Another option is nerve stimulation, which is kind of like a small pacemaker for the bladder. It's an implanted device that helps restore that crucial stop signal from the brain. So what's the main takeaway from all of this? It's simple. OAB is common, it's understandable, and most importantly, it is highly manageable. This is not a personal failing, it is a medical condition. And the best part is that you have options and the power to improve your quality of life. So I'll end with a question for you. What is one small change you can explore today to start taking back control? Maybe it's swapping one coffee for water. Maybe it's looking up a pelvic floor exercise. Or maybe it's just making that call to your doctor. Whatever it is, that one small thing, that's the beginning. Thanks for watching.